Hello and welcome to Releasing Your Power Potential. I'm your host, Gary Chapman. I'm so glad you're here with me today. And today, I want to spend a little time talking about confidence. I want to riff just a little bit. My main goal for this episode, for those who are joining for the very first time, I want to also let you know that we have a Releasing Your Power Potential podcast that you can get on Spotify, and you also can download it on Apple iTunes. But as I was saying, I really today just want to talk about what confidence is and hopefully get you moving toward the direction of understanding you can develop confidence. And so, one of the working definitions of confidence, and I really got this from Nate Zinsser in his book called The Confident Mind, and I'm paraphrasing, but he talks about confidence is the ability or you knowing that you can do something so good without even thinking about it. That's what confidence is. So, anytime you talk about releasing your power and releasing your potential or maximizing your potential, you got to have confidence to be able to do that. And here's the good news: confidence is something you can develop and you can maintain. It is not for only a certain group of people who were born in a certain area, who have a certain pedigree. It is something that you can learn. Now, I don't know about you, but that's exciting news to me because if I can learn it, if I can read about it, if I can take a class, if I do it long enough, I believe I can get it. And I believe you can get it also. So let's unpack this. We talk about confidence is that ability to do something or know something so well that you don't even think about it. Now, why is that important? Because, my friends, sometimes we don't always do the right thinking. And thinking, we kind of get in our head and we're not always thinking about the right things, and it can mess us up. Think about like walking down a flight of stairs. If you were thinking left, right, you're going to fall, right? It's too much. You have gained experience and you've done walking down the stairs so much that you don't even have to think about it. That is what we're talking about when we're talking about confidence. And that's what I want you to have. So, before we get there, though, we've got to deal with some things. And I wish we could just jump right into it, but let's just work on some stuff because there's things that are getting in the way of your confidence. You say, Gary, how do you know? I know these things because there were things that were in my way as I was developing and as I'm still developing my confidence. And it's usually those things that have to do with your past failures or something that someone said to you and you accepted it as a part of your belief system. And when you accepted it as part of your belief system, it became a part of you. There's another great book I recommend reading. It's called Psycho Cybernetics. I apologize. And it's by Maxwell Maltz, Dr. Maxwell Maltz. In that, he talks about, and I'm paraphrasing again, he talks about we won't be able to move past whatever the image that we have of ourselves. In other words, that image that you have of yourself, not the image that someone has of you, but you have of yourself. And maybe it was developed by you listening to someone who told you that you are not smart, who told you're not pretty, or you can't make a lot of money, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter, but it stuck with you. If you're not able to get that out of your head and out of and change your self image, then confidence won't do you a lot of good because you will eventually revert back to what you believe you deserve or who you believe you really are. As soon as the pressure comes, as soon as things don't work out the way that you planned them, that's when you fall back to where you're comfortable. So let's work with that stuff that's not good in your mind and in your head that's getting in the way. First thing to do, I'm going to recommend that you, and not, of course, I'm not a psychologist, but I just recommend that you do this, that you sit down with a notebook and a pen or a pencil and just start writing out those negative belief systems that you have. Let's acknowledge them. Let's get them out. And then once you get them out, here's what I've found to be true. When you're dealing with something that is not true, the best way to defeat it is to bring the truth. Yeah, to bring the truth. So what that means is that you're going to have to think about the things that will override that. I'll give you an example. If you were told, and I had a friend of mine who said this actually happened to him. He said that his grandfather and his brother would talk so bad about him, and it would make him feel insecure about his ability. Now, keep in mind, this friend of mine I'm talking about has done some really great stuff. But as we were talking, he was talking about how it made him feel. And you could see his posture change as he told the story. He became smaller in the space and he began to hunch over a little bit. And I could see the confidence starting to wear at him. And as he told me his story, I asked him some questions and I wanted to determine where he was mentally. And I talked about, and I knew the answer to these questions because he was a successful entrepreneur. He had written a book. He had several endeavors that have come out great, that he was actually helping people, some people who were incarcerated, some people who needed food. And so he was really a great humanitarian and have accomplished a lot, especially from where he came from. But this can happen to any of us. Over time, we forget the good stuff we've done and the things we've accomplished. And when we forget those things, when we get amnesia, so to speak, then those other thoughts begin to creep in. And as we ran down the list of his accomplishments, he began to fill up the room again. And his physiology changed, his posture changed, and his head began to rise. The best way to battle a lie, in my opinion, is the truth. Because everything that I said to him was the truth. He was a successful entrepreneur. He had accomplished some great things and he's helped a lot of people, including yours truly. So he was not the failure or the inadequate person that those family members wanted him to believe that he was. So here's my question to you, friend. What are those limiting and those beliefs that are based on lies that were told you? The other thing I'm going to recommend is that you get out, pen and paper again. And you begin to write out some of your accomplishments, the things that you have accomplished, because you need a list to combat the negative list or that list of lies. Sounds like good stuff, right? I've done it myself. It's amazing. I could not believe how much I had forgotten. And I went way back, like elementary school. I mean, after you get the hang of this, you just start pulling out all kind of stuff. Nothing's too small. If it's an accomplishment, it's an accomplishment. If you did it, you did it. If you accomplish it, you accomplish it. You learned how to tie your shoe. You learned how to say the ABCs, right? You learned all these wonderful things. You've just forgotten how wonderful you are and how great you are. And I'm here to remind you, take time and put those out. Now, in the book, The Confident Mind, Dr. Nate talks about making a somewhat like a top 10 list. And so I recommend that for you. What are your top 10 accomplishments that you have? that you've done and go as far back as you want to. They don't have to be like you won the Nobel Prize or anything of that nature. It can be something as I know one of mine was when I was in high school, I won the extemporaneous speaking award. That was a great thing for me because previously no one even knew I could talk. So that was huge for me to do that and overcome my fear of speaking in front of people. And so that was huge for me. And I had forgotten I'd done that because that was so many years ago. And I put that on my top 10 list. And so why make the top 10 list? Because now you got things that you can focus on. And studies have shown whatever we focus on the most, we gravitate to. Whatever we focus on the most, we gravitate to. And if you spend your time thinking about all your failures and you spend your time thinking about the things that people told you you could not do and you would not be, then you're wasting your time and you're moving further and further away from where you really want to be. You want to spend your time thinking about where you want to go and who you are. And remember, this is all based on truth. When you know the truth will set you free. So I hope that you get some freedom today. I'll be back with another lesson, but we'll talk some more about building that confidence and how to maintain that confidence. But for this lesson, I really want you to think about how you're going to tear down those buildings of lies, those constructs of non truths that are hanging around and keeping you from releasing your power and your potential. Well, that's it for now, and I'll see you on our next episode. Have a great day.